Here we are once again, 1 year later, at the very first KOA with a different RV. We're gonna explain in this video what exactly happened. Welcome back to the Freeway Flippers. I'm Liz.
I'm Casey.
And in this video, we are going to share the mistakes we made when we bought our very first RV.
Yeah, so after only 4 months in our first RV, we purchased another one. So we wanted to tell you guys some mistakes that we made and some things that you guys should consider when you guys are going to be buying an RV to live in full time.
And also explain exactly why we decided to upgrade to a fifth wheel.
All right, so first mistake we made, which we've heard a lot of other RVers make the same mistake, and a lot of first-time home buyers, is we sort of rushed our decision making. We got excited about the decision. As soon as I knew Liz was on board, I was like, game on, we're doing this. Definitely take your time. We actually regret not renting some longer travel trailers, believe it or not, and even renting a fifth wheel. I know it's not convenient. You already have to have the truck, which we did. Definitely try them both out. It's an investment in your time because you're gonna be living in this thing. And had we went with a fifth wheel first choice, then would have saved us a lot of time and aggravation of trying to unload the original travel trailer. Ended up working out for us, went to a great family. I'm sure they're enjoying it now, but yeah, it wasn't very convenient. We had to stick around Arizona a lot longer than we planned, only because if you are full timing, you know, to sell your current rig and get another one is not going to be a very convenient thing to do. Most people end up taking them to dealers and have dealers consign them for them just so they can basically move on and get out of it, which, you know, they're going to take their cut, and it's usually not a very good deal for you.
So like Casey was saying, we really did rush into it. We found the brand that we wanted. It's called Outdoors RV. The only challenge with that brand was to find a used travel trailer is literally impossible, especially in March, April when we were looking to buy. Casey had gotten sent to Seattle, where it's kind of like the mecca of outdoors RV dealers. We went there, we went and looked at one of the dealers, Broadmoor in Pasco, Washington, and we bought one on the spot. In hindsight, we probably should have waited a little bit longer. We didn't realize at the time we bought the only outdoors RV Timber Ridge 24 RDS, and at the time we didn't ask questions. We just thought that was one of many models that were there. It ended up being just one that they made, and they never put it into production. Down the road, here we were trying to find comps to sell our RV, and there weren't any, so that became a big challenge. I think one of the things we should have done is we should have taken our time and not just bought one on the spot, and maybe have gone to RV shows. If we would have gone to RV shows where there's not the pressure to buy right away, you're just going around, you're seeing the different brands. Had we gone into a lot more different RVs, we might not have bought the one that we ended up buying for our first RV.
There's just so many different manufacturers and models. It's very different than buying a house, so just remember that, which kind of goes into another point we have, which is negotiation with the dealership. These things are mass-produced. Even the small manufacturers are still mass-produced units, so there's going to be several dealers that have the same model. We were in Arizona looking for the Outdoors RV brand, which, to Liz's point, to find a used one is very difficult. And that actually worked to our advantage when selling it, because we were in Arizona and the family that bought it wanted that floor plan. The only other option was to go to the dealer and spend quite a bit more money. So it worked out great for us. Like Liz said, being in Washington, the Pacific Northwest, for Outdoors RV and Northwood Manufacturing, which is what we have now, the Arctic Fox fifth wheel, very popular in that area. You start to go east towards the Midwest and even the East Coast, they're very hard to find, which is part of why we bought those manufacturers, because we know that, and getting rid of them or selling them is a lot easier than some of your bigger models like the Grand Designs and the Jaycos and Winnebagos, just because there's so many of them out there on the road and for sale, that when you go to sell your unit, there's usually quite a few other options that you're competing with. Like with ours, for example, right now, if we were to list it on RV Trader, I don't think there's any that we would compete with right now, the last time I looked anyway, that aren't brand new, which are going to be several thousand more than what we have. With that said, negotiation, you can definitely negotiate with your salesperson and the dealership. They're wanting to move units just like anybody selling anything. Use that to your advantage. Tell them no the first day. Nobody's going to come tomorrow morning and buy it out from under you. And if they do, there's another one, you know, within hours of that dealership. Remember that.
Another mistake we made when we were looking for our very first RV was we didn't have a checklist of any sort. Really, we were going off of what research we had done and questions we had asked other people who have travel trailers that not necessarily full-time RV. I wish we would have gone into the Facebook forums for like full-time living, maybe even the brand, and just kind of done a poll and asked people what they don't like about full-time RVing. So that was a big mistake. Had we had a checklist and kind of gone around when we looked at the RVs, we would have noticed that the very first RV we bought did not have what we really needed to fit our needs, and it's going to be completely different for every person, every situation. We're just a couple. We travel with our 2 dogs and 2 cats. We really didn't think about, even in the first RV, about the cats, because where were we going to put the litter box, and where we had to put it was in the bathtub, which was a huge inconvenience. Had we really had that on our checklist and gone around to different floor plans, we could have found a better alternative.
Yeah, be realistic as to how you're going to use your RV if it is for full-time living. We kind of went into the first trailer thinking, oh, we wanted it small because everybody, you know, was telling us that you can't get into national parks unless it's under 30 foot, and so that was big on our mind. And we're all about being minimalistic and, you know, tiny, and that was on our mind too. So we were talking ourselves into a lot of things, going back to the cat litter, for example, thinking, oh, it's not a big deal that it's in the bathtub and that we just have to take it out anytime we want to shower. Well, that's very unrealistic. You know, if you're living in this unit, it's going to be something that you use often. You know, make sure that you put your priorities to those types of items.
So the one thing that we definitely wanted to upgrade was the bedroom area. We didn't like that you couldn't walk around the bed. Casey uses an analogy that when you are looking for an RV, you kind of think that it's just going to be like a Vegas hotel room. You're just going to lay your head down to sleep and you're going to be spending all your time outside the RV. That was not the case for us. We spend a lot more time in the bedroom than we realized. Yeah, we do. And in the outdoors RV bedroom, we only had cabinets above, and then each one of us got a wardrobe area on the side. We didn't have hookups for a washer dryer. Not that we have that yet, but it's nice to have that option. That was one of the reasons why the bedroom just wasn't a good fit for us. And we only had a queen size bed, and our dogs are our babies, and we let them sleep in bed with us. Well, one of them does.
One for sure.
Yeah, Shandy. And Bella sleeps on the floor, and Bella didn't have a lot of room on the floor to sleep, and it was really tight with Casey and I on a queen size bed. We came from a California king in our Tempe house, so the queen bed was definitely an adjustment, and now we have a king size bed and we're much happier with that.
Really didn't bring a lot of clothes. I mean, that was one thing specifically where, like, I was adamant that I was just gonna have like 5 gray t-shirts and a couple pairs of shorts, and that was it. Not the case. I mean, when you're traveling, you just accumulate clothes. You know, we do a lot of thrifting and find good deals on stuff, and so you start adding to your wardrobe. And having a closet, definitely, if you're gonna full-time, I would recommend making sure that your rig has a full closet for yourself.
And we have a lot more room in the closet. In our fifth wheel, we have a dresser, and then we also have the closet, and we sell on eBay, and that's honestly where we keep a lot of our eBay product.
Yep.
And that has made it a lot easier for me when I'm trying to look for all that and we can thrift more and not only find things for ourselves, but also things to resell online.
All right, moving to the next area of upgrade is the bathroom. Some of these are gonna seem obvious to you guys. Okay, bedroom, bathroom, and then we'll talk about the living area and the exterior, but
And the kitchen.
and the kitchen. As far as the bathroom, a walk-in shower, which we didn't realize that was a big deal until we upgraded and had we had a small tub, which you would never fill up with water anyway, but you know, it was a step-in shower. Plastic flooring that just felt cheap. The walk-in shower is plastic flooring as well, but it just feels a little bit more stable, more sturdy. You got a lot more room in the walk-in shower. The other upgrade was definitely the toilet. Whatever RV you get, used or new, I would definitely suggest going to the porcelain toilet. And the one we have has like a little sprayer like you see on a kitchen sink, just because it helps for cleanup for obvious reasons. So
Yeah, I thought we would utilize the bathtub a lot more, and not just for ourselves, but we were thinking for the dogs, that if they got dirty, we could bring them in and spray them. But honestly, that RV had an outdoor shower, and I think
they all do.
Yeah, I think with the tub, it just didn't make sense for us. And honestly, it was so small, like I doubt I would even be able to relax and enjoy myself.
Yeah, very claustrophobic feeling. Even when you're in there to shower, just the whole space is a lot smaller than if you have a walk-in. Just a lot nicer.
So on to the kitchen area. I'm not the cook, he's the cook, but there was not a lot of counter space. Casey wanted to get a Breville espresso machine, which he got, and then I got a Dyson vacuum. It was an even trade, just ironic.
When you unload everything that you own, basically, so we had sold pretty much everything that we had, we kind of decided, okay, what is something that we're going to be using a lot inside the trailer? We love coffee, so I knew that was going to be a priority. And then in that small space with the animals, of course you need a solid vacuum cleaner.
But now with the Dyson, we can store in the closet, but the Breville we keep on the kitchen counter, and in the old RV, there was just not enough space on the kitchen counter. And we did have like a nice little extender for the counter where you flipped it up, and it did give you a little bit more, but in the end, for full-time living, that kitchen was small. I did not care for the kitchen at all.
And now we have the Instapot, which I'm sure most of you guys listening do or watching. Thing's amazing, and for RVing, I think it's essential. I mean, you can do a whole porch shoulder in like an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah, but now we have the space where we can have a espresso machine, we can have the Instant Pot out, and we still have plenty of space to be able to prep food. So definitely our upgrade to a bigger kitchen was by far one of my favorite things about the RV. And our RV had, our fifth wheel has a rear kitchen.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you had like the couch across from some chairs, so if you had guests over, you could sit across from each other, hold a conversation. Our other setup with the rear living and the couch on the side didn't really allow for that.
Yeah, now we can actually have people over where the kitchen is in the rear, and that's separated from the living space. So it just, even though, I mean, come on, it's a fifth wheel, it's 35 feet. It's not like we're living in, you know, this gigantic space, but even just having the recliners and the couch across from each other, that really helped open it up, and it just feels so much more spacious. The reason why we bought the outdoors RV was the one thing we love the most, the rear dinette with the big picture window. That sold us, because of course the salesman had us imagine backing up to a lake and the wonderful mountain view, and how that would just be magical. And and honestly, that's the one thing we kind of hated the most, because we rarely were able to back up to a beautiful view, and that was such a big window area that it kind of left for just smaller windows. We're in our fifth wheel now, we are surrounded with windows, so no matter where we are, we can always see a beautiful view. And I think that's what I love about our living floor plan in our Arctic Fox.
Yeah, the rear window, again, you envision some magical mountains, but you end up backing into spots, so you only see another trailer, Or if you have bike rack on the back, then you only see the bikes. Again, you rarely back into a beautiful space. They usually have spaces set up to where your side windows are going to get a view, or you know, you park yourself into that type of view.
If you're boondocking.
Yeah, really, I guess on the beach would be probably the only place. If you are able to score like a beach spot at a beach RV park, then I'm sure they set you up with the back facing. But like Liz said, we have windows kind of all around with our slide outs, or on our slide outs, excuse me, and in the front of the rig, so we get a nice view wherever. So last but not least, as far as why we upgraded, is the setup process. The bumper pole setup process for full-time living is a pain in the butt. It just is, especially if you're thinking about wanting to move every couple of weeks. It doesn't seem like a big process, but it is. It's just manually leveling your rig.
Needing lots of chocks. You have to have lots of chocks. Yep. Because you have to level it yourself.
Yeah, it's just the driving up on the chocks, trying to get it level. It's a mess. No question, if you're gonna go with either a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, definitely make sure they have automatic levelers. It will save you so much time, headache. We had one issue with them so far, and we just had to reset the machine and it fixed itself. There was a little bit of frustration, but it was just basically taking the time, taking a deep breath, and following the instructions, and all was well.
And understanding why it was doing that.
Yeah. But setting up and taking tear down, I guess, set up, tear down, both are very easy for us now. We have a good system now after doing it a few times to where it doesn't take us long at all. We'll show a video of that actually, because we have to hook up and dump our tanks within the next couple of days. So we'll make sure to do a video on the setup and tear down.
So I think the fifth wheel is much easier for, you know, unhooking and setting up, and that was just a good, I don't know why we should have gone fifth wheel.
Yeah, we should have definitely gone fifth wheel. Of course, everybody's situation different. We thought we were going to be boondocking a lot more, which boondocking has its fun, but they make it so inexpensive to camp, really, especially with the 1,000 Trails setup that we belong with. It's almost like, why? At least for a while, and we'll go into that more as far as the 1,000 Trails, why we signed up for it, the Harvest Hosts that we signed up for. There's just so many different options to kind of bounce around in, but again, it just depends on where you want to go, what you want to do.
For us, I'm happy we got the fifth wheel.
Yes. Some other things to consider when buying your rig is resale value. I'm in the auto industry, and that's very important when you're looking at brands, is to make sure that you know what type of market they have when you're trying to resell it or get rid of it. Just like a home, a lot of people buy these with expectations of staying them a long time, and that's not always the case. You know, something comes up, plans change, somebody gets a job in this city, and now the full-time RV life is put on hold. Whatever the case may be, just make sure you're buying a quality brand, and the resale value, it will be there, and you don't have a lot of competition when getting rid of it.
RVs depreciate. Everyone knows that. They're not like a home. They're not an investment, but I'm so glad that our first RV, we did buy an outdoors, because like we said before, a lot of people want them used. They're hard to find, which made it easier for us to sell it. But when we went to buy our fifth wheel, that was a huge challenge, because we knew the floor plan, we knew we wanted to stick with outdoors or Northwood. We didn't like the outdoors fifth wheel because it didn't solve our problem of
the bedroom was too small.
Yeah, so the Glacier Peak, I think it's a 28 RKS that outdoors had. We wanted to love it, but it didn't solve the problem of the bedroom. You still couldn't walk around. It was a smaller one, and Northwood solved that problem for us, along with every other thing that we didn't like about the outdoors we found in the Arctic Fox 29-5K, and we wanted to stick with that brand.
I will say though, Liz already has her eyes on other fifth wheels.
I do. I do. I think because honestly, like, I've been watching the Flipping Nomad. She is the one that Keystone hired her
Yeah.
to take a one-of-a-kind, I think it's a toy hauler, and she is completely remodeling it. We also follow the Getaway Couple. They are Grand Design, same with Keep Your Daydream. Seeing some of the other full-timers and the RVs that they have, along with walking around campgrounds, and
Yeah.
I really like the idea of a patio.
Yeah, there's some picnic tables and stuff for us folks without the patio, but having your dogs be able to kind of chill out and not having to worry about having them tied up or getting away or whatever, awesome option. We love the interior of ours, but not huge on finishes and furniture and stuff like that. We just want functionality.
And we wanted a Northwood product. We wanted an Arctic Fox fifth wheel, and the 29-5K fit everything that we didn't like about our first RV, solved every single problem that we had, and we bought new because we couldn't find a used one. So
Right.
we actually had to drive to Moriarty, New Mexico, where we found a brand new 2017, and that was at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
And we got a really good deal on it. The RV sales were fantastic. We love Valerie, who she took over the company, and Clay, her and her brother.
Great experience.
Yeah, so I think that was honestly what kind of helped our transition from a bumper pull to a fifth wheel. Was RV sales made it so easy, and
Yeah.
they were able to add all the upgrades that we wanted, that we knew we wanted. Thanks for watching our video about why we upgraded to a fifth wheel after just 4 short months of full-time RV living.
If you like this video and you want to see more of our travels and how we make money out here on the road, please like this video, subscribe, and we'll
Catch you